Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the 8th of August. As I'm shooting this video, the counting of the votes has had started, and of course, results from different polling stations were starting now to stream in the National Tallying Center. If you followed keenly the election from the first prominent voter, Rigathi Gachagua, then by around 10 a.m., there was an exit poll, a secret exit poll that was conducted, and that exit poll projected Raila Odinga's victory as of midday. And what is an exit poll? Exit poll is an opinion poll that is conducted after a voter casts his vote. So when someone walks out of the polling station, you ask him whom he or she has voted. Of course, most probably he will be at liberty to tell you because it's not going to change anything. So that is an opinion poll conducted on a voter that has already casted his ballot, and it's normally conducted at the gate, at the polling station, at the exit door of the polling station. So in Nairobi, I conducted my own exit poll. It's very easy. You just find border people, those who are around the polling stations, and perhaps they've voted. And there is also another one that was conducted by the Azimio team on the conduct of the process the midday. And so, irrespective of what the outcome may be, I want to bring for you what the voting day psychological activities that might have tilted the psychology or played with the psychology of the Kenyan voter. Because this is something that normally works in. Exit poll is normally a tool that is used to influence already a voter who unaona hajapiga kura. So one, it boosts the confidence and the morale of a voter who is still in the polling station, perhaps in your strongholds. And when you do ask, because it can be done by any other person, when you ask, ushapiga kura? Nakwambia, mimi nishaikia baba, or mimi nishaikia Ruto. So that boosts, and when you realize that already there is way to victory, it boosts the morale of the voter. And in some instances, it also helps the strategist of the presidential candidates on the day activity, or what they need to do, or the issues they need to be addressed by the commission. And even though the first 3 hours of the exercise had some challenges and hiccups here and there, but I think by midday it took really a very good turn. So I want us to look at this critically, and to best understand, we will try to interrogate what happened, what exactly happened in the voting day. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. I continue to remind us about Sarah Atieno's medical bill contribution. I have been speaking about this for the last now, I think 14 days, I think now 15 days, 6 days to the end of that campaign, where we will then sit down and review and see if we can move on with it or how then. But of course that will be directed by here after I find out what exactly we have captured, we have collected. Sarah Atieno is suffering acute leukemia, and she's in Kenyatta Hospital, still locked there, because she could not get her freedom because of medical bill that inflated to 1 million. Remember, she was admitted this year in March, so she has been in the hospital for 5 months, undergone all through the chemo sessions. But of course, the difference now, she has a reprieve. She's now has relief. She's strong, but cannot leave because of that bill. So we were doing at least a 50 shillings donation. It's a challenge. If you can just donate 50, at least you can adopt many. Then our goal is at Team Bold, we will be in a position to get a 1 million check for Sarah. I believe this is still possible. You can donate through my number there, 0710 62 78 89, Kevin Oduor Olo. And you can also reach out to Sarah Atieno. Her number is 0716 357 360. When Rigathi Gachagua went to vote, and on the identification desk, he could not be identified electronically. He was even told to, I remember he was told to scratch kwa nywele, then apeane, then after that, it didn't work. It forced the clerks to revert to the manual register. And that was it was a very interesting twist, because remember, 9 hours before the election, the Kenya Kwanza team had won an appeal in the Court of Appeal that was barring the commission from using the manual register. But it was not really barring, but that it was to be used as an alternative. So remember, this is a team that had come out and opposed that manual register because they wanted full electronic. Then he becomes one of the most prominent leaders that was a beneficiary of that. And I remember Raila Odinga making a mockery of that situation, when of that scenario, when he was speaking in a brief press briefing in Karen before heading for the election to cast his vote in Old Kibera. So that instant worked. That Nyeri hitch, that electronic hitch in Nyeri, had already created a perception that indeed what the Azimio team were talking about on the need for manual had some sense. And then it showed the level of understanding that Raila Odinga team had in terms of this election. Remember, this happened because Rigathi Gachagua voted as early as, I think, 6, if I'm not wrong. So by that time, there were many people who had not even left their homes, and they were watching the television. They were still looking at what exactly is going on. Then boom, that happened. So that is something that I think when a voter went there at 8, already ashafikiria huku kumenda aje. Now, there is something that Raila Odinga team got, even though this is normally his tradition, going to vote in Old Kibera at 10. Number one, the Raila voting coverage. I don't know whether I'm the only person who realized that he got more airtime. Ruto went very early, and I think what happened, Azimio team organized, because Martha Karua voted very early in the morning, at dawn. So after Martha Karua voted, I think William Ruto then Rigathi Gachagua. So what could be perceived is, I think the William Ruto team had already made up their minds that they were going to be early bird voters, alongside Raila Odinga. But Raila Odinga was going to go planned to make a ceremonial journey from Karen with all the motorcade and the convoy to go and vote in Kibera. So if you've been keen, Raila Odinga's journey from Karen to Kibera was covered. It was, I think, more than 25 minutes until he went, the voting process, then a brief. I think he did not even address the media there. So you saw the way that was done. There was also the media report on high voter turnout on Raila Odinga's strongholds. Unlike in 2013 and 2017, you could, if you could follow people who follow Luo stations, they were all over crying, guys, come out and vote. And normally by midday, a narrative had already saturated the media that Luo Nyanza the turnout in Luo Nyanza is already low. So the high turnout in the Luo Nyanza already even gave the urban voters hope that something is working out. Because for me, I said this exit poll specifically, it worked out for Nairobi. And Nairobi and maybe other towns, because these are towns that receive, they consume information faster. This is the digital, the digital voting population. This is a population that access information in all other formats, not just the mainstream media, but they get information. So when someone is in the line, is listening to the radio, already is consuming news and is finding information that, look here, the turnout in Nyanza is high. The high turnout in Nyanza gives Raila Odinga's supporter who has not voted, and even someone that is there, look here, this is an opportunity for Raila Odinga to win. So I saw that as a morale booster. And that is why for someone, if you go Satano, especially in Nairobi, you could say, Peganani, you'll realize I voted for Raila. It's because of that also, the perceptional winning in Raila Odinga's stronghold. Did you realize that in this election, unlike the others, where there was intense mobilization, where people are being pulled from the hospitals to go and vote, and there was a lot of mobilization from different quarters, this was not witnessed. However, the senior members of the society, the people above 31 and above, were the ones that went early in the polling station. Now, this is the voting population that have a soft spot for Raila Odinga. So, if Raila Odinga's voting demographic is that population, the bit of the middle class, the guys in the Uber industry, the guys in the boda industry, who are not wale watoto, the teachers, the nurses, the doctors, that group is the group that went to the polling station mapema. So I remember, if you watched Citizen TV, where Francis Gashuri was, that was President Uhuru Kenyatta's polling station. The gentleman, the mzee that he interviewed there was amongst the first people who voted, and that was 6. That is unlike in the previous elections, where it is the youth that would turn up, go very early and mobilize, and will be the people that will be voting. But because that voting population was mostly that middle age group, it's a group that have a soft spot for Raila Odinga. Now, for any other, for the tilt votes, anything that might have tilted the scales, by midday it was Raila Odinga. So if the scales are tilting, or if they tilt, then that is the population that voted past midday. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my observation, and on this the issue of the exit poll. I understand that Azimio had a polling station, tallying center. Yes, and it's been moved. I think that's unnecessary. Now I'm getting my director is telling me, okay, let's keep that for tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel, support our video, and let's meet in the next. I'm coming with something from Mombasa.